It's often said that autistic people need to learn the rules to socialize, and to a large extent, it's kind of true. We gotta learn to make eye contact and ask, how are you doing, even though I don't care. And if somebody asks you the same thing, you lie and say, great, doing great, no matter what. Because it's considered rude to give an answer to the question you've been asked. So, illogical. Doesn't really make sense, but there are rules. But is that all there is to this? Fitting in isn't just a set of rules, is it? Because rules, they're written down in some way. Maybe it's out in the ether somewhere and just palpable to all the neurotypicals, and us autistic people just are blind to it. But I don't think that the abstract rules out there apply equally to everyone. And they seem to apply differently on Monday versus Friday. There doesn't seem to be a pattern, or at least a well-delineated one. We can approximate neurotypical behavior with rules, but that's what I think it is as time goes on, behaviors. That's just the nature of it. People have behaviors. Neurotypicals tend to act a certain way. Autistic people tend not to act that way. And it's really interesting to see that so many different people out there with different forms of neurodivergencies get treated very, very similarly. And time again, I'm led to this us versus them mentality. And I think that just stacks up the rules against us. Ask most people, what does not tall mean? Well, short. Doesn't mean that. If you're average height, you're not tall, you're not short, right? But oftentimes the human brain kind of just thinks in binaries. Us versus them. So what I'm realizing is a lot of the illogical behavior that I see in neurotypical people is just that. There's no real rule behind it other than I'm not like you and you're picking that up and you don't like that. So the behaviors that ensue from this sort of feeling don't have a logical sort of organization to them. It's just, I'm going to default to how I feel, and the only role of my rational mind is to convince itself of what the subconscious already believes. And if they don't like you, they don't like you. A lot of times that happens in a snapshot. But it can feel so unfair, where other people get more consideration. Just, they're looked at more as a human than you because you're not the same as them. It's as simple as that, and because of that, the rules out there just are not going to be consistent. So I have found myself trying to do these things where I try to behave like people and it just doesn't work out. And really, it's something that I hope that future generations of autistic people don't have to do. It's exhausting. It is exhausting and it doesn't work. Not only that, you just feel like you lose yourself over time. It feels like I don't get to learn who my true, genuine self is because I'm always trying to approximate other people's behaviors with rules. So, in the end, I don't know how many social rules there are. I mean, sure, there are some that are written down, like, I'm not going to go to a party naked. That's not going to work, right? I think that one's against the law, for the most part. But, besides the point, there's certain things that I don't think we have much control over. We just don't. There's certain things where I think the neurotypical brain just isn't aware of what they're doing, necessarily. They're just kind of defaulting to positions, not because they're following a set of rules, but they feel a certain way. So, just because something went wrong on some level with somebody doesn't necessarily mean you did anything wrong, as in you didn't break any rules necessarily. It's just, you're not like them. And that's the only rule you maybe broke. But is that really a rule? Or is it just you behaving differently? You just can look around at this earth and see how many things there are that are just off. Just off. Just not right. Backwards. And if you had individuals who thought more, who made these rules, I think the rules would make a lot more sense. It's just neurotypicals are in charge, and their subconscious rules what dictates their decisions. So it's just so natural for a logical thinking autistic person to try to explain the rules in just that way, logically. I don't know if that exists. I don't know if that's achievable. And, well, at a certain point, it's just like, maybe it's just better if I just live my life as I am, not as you are. So, if you're gonna hate me for who I am, not who I can't be.